The story of humankind is not always one of progress and enlightenment. Like the darkest corners of the jungle, history harbors tales that chill us to the bone. Stories of violence, madness, and depravity that defy easy explanation. These are not mere ghost stories whispered around a campfire, but events etched in the annals of time, leaving scars on the very fabric of society. Throughout history, humanity has witnessed numerous true crime cases that have shocked societies and left deep marks on collective memory. These cases often stand out for their extreme brutality, puzzling mysteries, or profound impact on legal and cultural norms. They offer a glimpse into the darkest recesses of the human psyche, forcing us to confront the unsettling reality that monsters do not lurk solely in the shadows, but sometimes walk among us. We will journey now to different eras and corners of the globe, revisiting these unsettling events. We will examine the evidence, delve into the minds of investigators, and confront the enduring mysteries that continue to haunt us. These are the stories of the victims and the vanished, the hunters and the hunted, forever bound together in a macabre dance across the stage of history. Join me, if you dare, as we shine a light into the darkest corners of the past and exhume the chilling details of some of the most disturbing historical true crime cases from around the world. The year is 1888. London, a city teeming with life and industry, becomes the hunting ground for a predator unlike any it has ever seen. He emerges from the fog and shadows of Whitechapel, his presence announced in the most brutal and terrifying way imaginable. His name, whispered in fear and speculation, would become synonymous with the darkness that can lurk beneath the veneer of civilization: Jack the Ripper. His victims, women eking out a precarious existence in the slums of London, were more than just prey. They became canvases for his grotesque handiwork. The precision and savagery of the Ripper's attacks, often involving mutilation and removal of internal organs, shocked even the most hardened police surgeons. Adding to the terror, the Ripper toyed with authorities, sending taunting letters to the police, often signed Jack the Ripper. These letters, filled with chilling boasts and cryptic clues, only deepened the mystery and intensified the atmosphere of fear that gripped the city. Despite numerous suspects and countless hours of investigation, Jack the Ripper was never caught. He vanished back into the fog and shadows, leaving behind a trail of unanswered questions and an enduring legacy of fear. The case continues to fascinate and horrify to this day, a stark reminder of the darkness that can fester even in the heart of a bustling metropolis. Los Angeles, 1947. Beneath the glitz and glamour of Hollywood, a darkness festered. The city, a beacon for dreamers and starlets, would soon become the stage for a crime so gruesome, so baffling, that it would forever stain the city's image. This is the story of Elizabeth Short, forever known by the macabre moniker bestowed upon her by the press, the Black Dahlia. On a gray January morning, Short's lifeless body was discovered in a vacant lot. Her body, meticulously posed, bore the marks of unimaginable cruelty. She had been bisected, drained of blood, and her face contorted into a ghastly grin. The scene, even to seasoned investigators, spoke of a level of depravity that defied comprehension. The media, sensing a sensational story, seized upon the case, publishing lurid details of Short's life and the horrific nature of her murder. The Black Dahlia became less a person and more a macabre spectacle, her story fueling public fascination and dread in equal measure. The investigation, hampered by false leads and the intense media scrutiny, yielded no shortage of suspects, but the killer's identity remained elusive. The Black Dahlia case, a chilling intersection of Hollywood allure and brutal reality, continues to fascinate and perplex. The identity of the killer, lost to time, serves as a chilling reminder that even in the city of dreams, nightmares can take root and blossom in the most horrific ways imaginable. The Bavarian countryside, a place often associated with picturesque villages and rolling hills, holds within its tranquil embrace a darkness that chills to the bone. It was here, on a small farmstead named Hinterkaifeck, that a crime of unspeakable brutality unfolded, leaving an indelible mark on the annals of history. The year was 1922. The victims, a family of 6, their lives brutally extinguished in a single night. Andreas Gruber, the patriarch, his wife Kazilia, their widowed daughter Victoria Gabriel, and her two young children, Kazilia and Joseph, along with the family maid Maria Baumgartner, all found dead in various outbuildings and within the farmhouse itself. The most unsettling aspect of this case, however, was not the sheer brutality of the act, but the chilling behavior of the killer in the aftermath. For days, the perpetrator remained on the farm, tending to the livestock, feeding the cattle, and even eating the family's food. It was as if the killer sought to blend into the fabric of the farm, to become an unseen presence in the home of the dead. This eerie detail, coupled with the isolated nature of the farmstead and the complete lack of a motive, has transformed this case into a breeding ground for speculation and fear. Theories abound, ranging from long-held family grudges to the involvement of shadowy figures with sinister intentions. Yet despite the passage of a century, the Hinterkaifeck murders remain shrouded in an impenetrable fog of mystery. The urban landscape, with its teeming masses and labyrinthine streets, can often mask a darkness that lurks beneath its bustling exterior. In the heart of America's industrial age, the city of Cleveland became a hunting ground for a predator of unparalleled cruelty, forever remembered as the Mad Butcher of Kingsbury Run. From 1935 to 1938, a reign of terror gripped the city as a series of gruesome murders shocked its inhabitants. The victims, mostly transients and marginalized individuals living on the fringes of society, were found dismembered, their bodies often drained of blood and meticulously posed. The killer's calling card, the removal of the heads and often the victim's identification by means of dismemberment, making the task of identification a grim puzzle for authorities. Adding to the notoriety of the case was the involvement of Eliot Ness, the famed lawman who had brought down Al Capone's criminal empire. Ness, then serving as Cleveland's Director of Public Safety, made it his mission to apprehend the elusive killer. Despite his best efforts, however, the torso murderer proved to be a phantom, disappearing into the city's underbelly as quickly as he had emerged. The Cleveland torso murders remain a stark reminder of the vulnerability that exists even within the most populous of human settlements. The killer's ability to evade capture, to vanish without a trace, has cemented his place in the annals of criminal history as a specter of urban dread. New Orleans, a city renowned for its vibrant music, joyous celebrations, and unique cultural tapestry, also harbors a dark undercurrent. It was here, in the midst of the Roaring Twenties, that a shadowy figure, known only as the Axeman, cast a pall over the city's legendary revelry. From the spring of 1918 to the fall of 1919, a wave of fear washed over the city as the Axeman claimed victim after victim, his weapon of choice, an axe, wielded with chilling brutality. The targets, seemingly random, ranged from Italian grocers to affluent society figures. Adding to the terror was the Axeman's penchant for leaving his victims alive, their homes left eerily undisturbed, apart from the gruesome evidence of the attacks. What truly set the Axeman apart, however, was his brazen communication with the public. Through letters sent to local newspapers, he taunted authorities, proclaimed his reign of terror, and even issued bizarre demands. In one chilling declaration, he threatened to spare the lives of those who played jazz music in their homes, transforming the city's beloved music into a symbol of both defiance and dread. Despite a citywide manhunt and numerous theories, the Axeman was never apprehended. His motives remain a mystery, his identity lost to the shadows. The Axeman of New Orleans serves as a stark reminder that even in the midst of celebration and revelry, darkness can lurk just around the corner, waiting for its moment to strike. Sometimes the darkest corners of the world are not found in the shadowy depths of the jungle, but in the supposed sanctuary of a seemingly ordinary home. In 1965, the American heartland bore witness to a chilling case. This is the story of Sylvia Likens, a 16-year-old girl whose life was tragically cut short. Entrusted to Gertrude Banaszewski, Sylvia became the target of escalating abuse. What began as neglect soon morphed into physical and psychological torture. Her abusers were individuals from the very community that should have been her haven. The case stands as a chilling testament to the capacity for evil within us all. The desolate beauty of the English moors holds a dark secret. Amidst the rolling hills, a series of horrific crimes shocked a nation. This is the story of the Moors murders, a case that haunts the public consciousness. In the early 60s, Ian Brady and Myra Hindley embarked on a killing spree targeting children. Their hunting ground was the vast expanse of Saddleworth Moor. The isolation of the moors became a chilling backdrop for their acts. The cold, calculated nature of the crimes is particularly disturbing. Brady and Hindley meticulously planned and executed their murders. Audio recordings of their victims' pleas shocked the nation. The Moors murders cast a long shadow over the British psyche. The case exposed the dark potential within ordinary individuals. The Moors, forever scarred, remind us of the lurking darkness. In the annals of human history, there are chapters so dark, so profoundly disturbing, that they challenge our very understanding of our own species. The horrors perpetrated by Unit 731, a covert biological and chemical warfare research unit of the Imperial Japanese Army, are a chilling example of the depths of depravity to which humanity can sink. Operating under a veil of secrecy in Japanese-occupied Harbin, China, Unit 731 was responsible for some of the most horrific human rights abuses in history. Thousands of men, women, and children were subjected to unimaginable horrors under the guise of scientific research. These were not prisoners of war, but individuals abducted from surrounding populations, their lives deemed expendable in the name of scientific advancement. The atrocities committed within the walls of Unit 731 are almost too horrific to comprehend. Live vivisections, amputations without anesthesia, and the deliberate infection of prisoners with deadly diseases were just a few of the gruesome experiments conducted. The victims, stripped of their humanity and referred to as logs, were treated as nothing more than laboratory specimens. Many of those responsible for these atrocities escaped justice, their crimes bargained away in exchange for their scientific knowledge. The legacy of Unit 731 stands as a stark warning about the dangers of unchecked ambition and the ease with which scientific curiosity can be twisted into a tool of unimaginable cruelty. The civilized world, a tapestry woven with threads of reason and order, but in the dark corners where shadows dance and secrets hide, lurk creatures driven by motives beyond our comprehension. Such was the case in the late 1960s when a specter haunted the sun-drenched streets of California, leaving a trail of blood and terror in its wake. The Zodiac Killer. Unlike predators who strike in the dead of night, the Zodiac seemed to revel in the fear he instilled, choosing public spaces and broad daylight for his attacks. Young couples, parked on lovers' lanes, became his unsuspecting prey. Their last moments, filled with unimaginable terror, etched into the annals of criminal history. But the Zodiac was no mere brute. He craved notoriety, a twisted fame he sought through a series of cryptic messages, ciphers he boldly sent to the press. These chilling communications, filled with coded boasts and threats, tantalized and terrified a nation, turning the hunt for the killer into a macabre game of cat and mouse. Despite the best efforts of law enforcement, the Zodiac's true identity remains shrouded in mystery, a chilling reminder of the darkness that can lurk beneath the surface of even the most vibrant society. The human desire for belonging, for a community where one feels understood and accepted, is a powerful force. But this primal need can be exploited, twisted by charismatic individuals who offer solace while tightening the noose of control. In the depths of the Guyanese jungle, a remote settlement named Jonestown became a tragic testament to the devastating consequences of blind faith and unchecked power. Led by the enigmatic and deeply troubled Reverend Jim Jones, the People's Temple Agricultural Project, as it was officially known, promised its followers a utopian escape from the evils of the outside world. Hundreds flocked to this promised paradise, lured by Jones's message of equality, social justice, and spiritual enlightenment. But behind the facade of harmony and communal living, a sinister reality was taking hold. Jones, a master manipulator, gradually tightened his grip on his followers, employing psychological coercion and physical intimidation to enforce absolute obedience. Dissent was met with brutal punishment, and fear became the lifeblood of Jonestown. Then, on a fateful day in November 1978, the world bore witness to the horrifying culmination of Jones's reign. over 900 men, women, and children, their minds poisoned by fear and warped by cult indoctrination, willingly participated in a mass suicide, drinking cyanide-laced Flavor Aid in a gruesome spectacle of death. The Jonestown Massacre stands as a stark reminder of the fragility of the human psyche and the devastating consequences of unchecked power. From the fog-choked streets of London to the sun-drenched boulevards of Los Angeles, from the isolated farmsteads of Germany to the remote jungles of Guyana, we have journeyed into the heart of darkness, exploring the chilling tales of humanity's capacity for cruelty, madness, and violence. These historical true crime cases are disturbing for their brutality, their mystery, or the societal fear they instilled. Each of them reflects the darker side of human nature, often involving shocking levels of cruelty, manipulation, and violence, leaving lasting impacts on society and history.